Welcome to Fierce, Fit, Feminine, and Other F Words, a place where women in business come to learn more about health, beauty, body language, and communication. I'm Christine Brunelli, chiropractor and former beauty salon owner turned certified image consultant, helping you glow from the inside out. And we don't glow as bright as we should when we are feeling self-conscious, when we're feeling insecure, and we're not rocking that fierce confidence we know we should be. That's what I want to talk to you about today. Are you ready? Let's dive in. Before we get started, I wanted to let you know doors are open to my group coaching program called Shine Online. This is specifically for female entrepreneurs, women in business, service providers, licensed professionals who know that they want to show up or need to show up in photos and video, especially online, feel very self-conscious, you hate it, you don't like how you look, you want someone to just teach you how to do it and give you real-time feedback. That's where this comes in. Shine Online will take you from feeling camera shy or self-conscious on camera to Dragon Slayer, I promise. And by the end, you will even have a set of videos that you can use and promote yourself on social media by the time we're done. Oh my goodness, it's so much fun. We just wrapped up the spring session. Summer session begins July 31st. So you only have a few days to register. Tap the link in my bio. In the link, you'll see all kinds of information, frequently asked questions, stories from other women who have taken the program and how it's changed their life and their business. I am confident I can help you look and feel fabulous on camera and feel confident while doing it. You will be able to join a live stream. You will be able to do your own live stream. You'll be doing your own videos. In fact, by the end of this program, you're going to have a set of videos already done, polished with the perfect lighting, camera angles, all of it. And we do it inside 7 weeks. It's an accelerator program. I'm going to get her done with you side by side. Tap that link. And if you have any questions, you can always send me a message. I'd be happy to jump on a call. Do you know anyone that puts other women down or puts other people down? I'm sure you do. I hope that's not you. That is a sign of someone who is insecure in themselves so that they feel better. They put other people down. It somehow inflates their ego a little bit, makes them feel more superior, when in reality, we all know that's not a sign of superiority. Women who adjust other women's crowns, we've all seen that meme, adjusting another woman's crown or helping another woman, women lifting another woman up, that is a sign of a secure woman. That is a fierce woman. Before I get into, what it takes to shake off this self-consciousness and the insecurities and all of these things, I want to kind of go over a list that's going to highlight different behaviors that we might see insecure women exhibit. Now, you may fall in one of these categories. I'm not calling you out, but I want you to just sit with it and go, ooh, I do that. And really figure out why. And we'll start with these behaviors, and then we'll go into a little bit of what we can do to change it, because insecure women are not glowing. Insecure women are not fierce. I want you to be the fierce, fit, fun, feminine woman that you were meant to be. So let's get into these behaviors first. I'm going to list them out. See if you identify with, try not to think of anyone else. I want you to really think about yourself and see if you identify with anything in this list. Let's start with the control freaks. It's not only men. Women, we tend to have a really bad case of this. And wanting to be in control is a sign of insecurity. It's a sign of not trusting. Miss Control Freak is not always fun to be around. Monica Geller on the TV show Friends was comedy, but in real life, it's not always funny, is it? It's hard to be around someone that wants to call the shots all the time, wants to tell people what to do, wants to be the person that is going to, guilt other people for not doing things right. So control is one of the things. That's a sign of an insecure person. One of the other ones, over defensiveness. Are you defensive? Everything that comes at you, anything that comes at you as like a comment, do you feel defensive in your response, or do you sit with it and think of it as constructive criticism? That is one of the first things between men and women that is a telltale sign of insecurity is defensiveness. How you react to comments. Not everything is about you. Sometimes it's just a comment. And defensiveness, if that's your knee jerk, you need to think about that. That's definitely a sign of an insecurity. Jealousy. Okay. This is a big one, but a little bit of jealousy in a relationship, that's not bad, right? You're protecting your treasure, right? If you're in a relationship, you treasure it. But there's another extreme of that. The flip side is constantly like stalking because you don't trust and you're jealous of attention going somewhere else because you're not secure in the relationship that you're in. It could be jealousy in a job situation. It could be jealousy of someone having a position that you want. It's not necessarily a romantic relationship, just jealousy. Jealousy is a sign of insecurity. Every single thing on this list, you can point back to why it started. And that's what I want you to identify with. Do I have any of these? Where did that come from? Well, I'm jumping ahead of myself. Now, this is the person that belittles. I already mentioned a little bit about this, but the person that puts other people down, they belittle them. You never have to belittle someone else, ever. Ever. It's not necessary. If their behavior is something that someone could say something that makes them look bad, you don't need to say it because their behavior is doing it for them. There's no reason to make it worse. No reason to report the obvious. We don't need it. That's a sign of insecurity. Someone that's doing that is trying to make themselves feel better and look better to other people when really it doesn't. It looks like insecurity. Okay, another one, constant neediness. You need reinforcement. You need someone to give you like feedback constantly. You're not okay to just float. Or like if someone doesn't text you back right away, that neediness for validation, that's a sign of insecurity. The other thing that's really hard, and if you're over 40, this is definitely hard. You feel like, well, you're on your phone all the time anyway. Why can't you just text me back? I understand that mentality. I understand that people think that way, but here's what has happened. Cell phones, for example, have given us and access to people 24/7. And now what we have to do is set boundaries around how much access people have to us because it didn't used to exist. It used to be a landline telephone. And if someone was busy, you got a busy signal. And now we have email on our phones. We have text on our phones. We have call on our phones. We have all different ways for people to message us on Messenger, social apps, all of that stuff. You do not deserve a response within seconds. Let it rest. Don't feel the need to have anxiety around that. That's a sense of insecurity. Okay, casting guilt and shame. This is another one. Why do it? If someone did something that hurt you and you already acknowledged it, you already expressed it, you don't need to continuously remind them and make them feel guilty for it and shame them for it. If you've already covered it, you already had a conversation with it, and you keep bringing it up. And this, again, does not have to be in just a romantic relationship. It could be in a work relationship. It could be a coworker. It could be a boss. It doesn't need to come up again. And if you keep bringing it up again, there's an insecurity there. Do you hold grudges? That's another one. People that hold grudges, why? Are you not secure enough to let it go and move on? I mean, really? Holding a grudge, what does it do? What is it doing for you? And are you an overreactor? I know some of these people I know very well, they overreact. I mean, just their initial, it's instead of respond, they react. It's just like that initial blah, and then they come down and they come back to normal. Sometimes that's just their personality, but a lot of times it's because their initial feeling to a situation is an insecure thought, insecure feeling. And so they react with this overreaction that doesn't match the situation at all. Is that you? Do you celebrate in the failure of others? I sure hope not. I hope you don't secretly go, ha, 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 if somebody messes up, makes a mistake, or doesn't succeed. That's a sign of your insecurity. At least she's out there or he's out there trying, right? That's a sign of insecurity of someone who celebrates failure. I could go on this one for a long time. I'm just going to let it go. That's another one. And finally, do you drop everything for other people? Even if you're in the middle of something really important to you, and I'm not talking about emergencies here. I'm talking about, do you drop everything at the beck and call or whim of someone else? It could be a romantic partner. It could be a boss. It could be any situation. And bosses are tricky. If you work for someone, My daughter was in a situation that she had a boss. It was like the devil wears Prada. And, she could be in the middle of a phone call. And if that boss called, she cut my phone call off to take the call, even if it was a Sunday or her day off. And there comes a point where you have to go, why am I not setting boundaries and standing up for myself? If this is not in my job description, right? It could be in a romantic relationship. It could be in your friendships with women. But if you are dropping everything, it's probably a sign of insecurity or people pleasing. Okay, I want to recap this list. Let's see if I can do this from memory. So we just said, dropping things for someone else, celebrating someone's failure, the shame and blame game, belittling people, constantly needing validation, all of that kind of insecurity, jealousy, and control. That's a recap. Okay, so maybe there is something in there. All of us have a little bit of something. All of us have a little something. A lot of us, we like to be in control because then everything is going toward our expectations, right? Or, a little jealousy. We feel like it's healthy for a relationship. But does the other person feel that way? I think that we need to really take these things to heart because if you have any of these things going on, you are not your best self. And the only way you are going to glow up and look radiant and be a radiant, vibrant woman that attracts like a magnet, you need to be confident in a confidence that says she's fierce. And the woman who is fierce is not needy. She's not jealous. She's not gossiping. She's not belittling. She's not trying to control anything. You're not trying to hang on to something that's not yours. You let go. That's probably one of the hardest ones I've ever had to deal with is the art of letting go. I even had a hard time letting go of a car I loved that was leased. And it was just like, I keep thinking, oh, if I love more, it'll change. Or, oh, if I just savor this a little bit more, it'll last longer. The art of letting go is something that fierce women have. They let go. What is meant for them, they believe will be with them. And what is not meant for them, goes away. And they're good with it. So why are we jealous? Why do we gossip? Why do we belittle? We really need to be aware that we do it. Be aware of that insecurity. Find the root of it if you want to and think, something happened to me that made me feel this way. And I am still carrying those wounds. You have to deal with that, my friend. You have to deal with those wounds because it's injuring and harming and damaging your future relationships. If you haven't managed to deal with any of the insecurities that happened in your past, you're carrying them with you in the future. Now, here's another form of insecurity and self-consciousness that I want to talk about, and it's your appearance. Now, this is more specific than saying a category like what I just shared. What are you insecure about? Not how you display insecurity, but what are you insecure about? Being insecure about your appearance is a big one. And I'm going to share a personal story about my teeth because dental work it's so expensive, right? And people are now starting to wear Invisalign as adults. They're getting braces, but I had one tooth that was crooked years and years and years ago. I never had braces as a kid. I had very straight teeth except for this one. I wouldn't smile with my mouth open if someone was sitting on the side of that tooth. That was not a fierce woman. Have you ever seen someone who, by the world's standards, is not beautiful, by the world's cultural, the way they would measure beauty, but they wear their confidence like a gown, a ballroom gown, and they walk proud, and they speak proudly, and they hold their head high? They become more beautiful, don't they? You don't notice any of these things that the culture would call imperfections. You love them for being so proud and strong in who they are. I was not that person about this silly tooth. So much so that I spent money to go to a dentist years ago and have something done with it so it was straight because I was so insecure. Now, is there anything wrong with that? Absolutely not. If you have the means to take care of whatever it is that you don't like about yourself, do it. You don't like how your body looks? First, you need to thank your body for taking care of you. Second, get to work. I mean, really, women who think that they look too big in pictures, Maybe it's the angle. Maybe it's how you're standing. Maybe it's the camera angle, or maybe it's that you ate too many Doritos. You're just not being honest with yourself. If you can fix it, then fix it. If you have a smile you're not proud of, that you don't love, there are dentists who set their whole life and their practice to make you happy with your smile, because confidence changes a person. And specifically for women, we already are fighting for equality and different things to put our stake in the ground and make an impact in the world. If it's about how we look, my girl, do what you gotta do. Change your hair, put on some makeup. It's okay. There will be people out there that will tell you, oh, well, she takes so much time doing her hair and her makeup and worrying about what she wears. She doesn't really love herself. Bunk. That is not true. I love wearing makeup. Putting on makeup for me is kind of like meditation. It's art. It's where I decompress, but also where I'm getting ready for my day. I enjoy it. You know what? Whatever you need to do to make yourself feel comfortable with your appearance, do it. Just do it. And I'm giving you permission. It is okay. Don't listen to the people who are saying it doesn't matter if you don't like me for who I am, but they're still insecure. They're still showing and displaying all those habits, right? They have insecurities, but they're shaming other people for doing things to make themselves feel better. Don't listen. Do what you got to do. Your appearance really does matter, actually. And that's why I'm a certified image consultant, because I help women in business not all look the same, but get styled and present themselves in a way specific to the business they're in. A real estate agent absolutely has to put her best foot forward to sell a home, especially it's the biggest investment a lot of people will make in their lifetime. They need to role model what they're trying to do with people that are selling the home. The home needs to be sparkly clean, right? So does the listing agent. So does the real estate agent that's trying to sell the home. If you are a gardener or a chef, you're probably not going to be wearing high heels and beautiful pressed slacks and a white blouse, right? You're going to be a little bit different. I style you. I help you get styled and present yourself in a way that aligns with what you do. And if it means that we tweak something in your hair, your accessories, or even the top you're wearing, so what? It's going to make you look amazing, and that's going to help you. That's the glow up, and that's okay. Okay, so that is one of the big insecurities, and we can fix our outer appearance insecurities. We can. You are capable. If your hair is unruly and hard to deal with, go to a blow-dry bar, find a salon, find a hairstylist that specializes in maybe treatments that can help frizz or treatments that can help make hair look thicker. There are so many solutions out there, and I have a lot of them because I've owned a salon, so I know them, and that's what I help people in my programs with, is just introducing them. You need eyebrows? Here are 3 things you can do to have fuller eyebrows, that kind of stuff. Do it if that's what it takes. That's one main insecurity we have as women. It's probably the number one. The other insecurity that is connected to all of those things that I listed in the beginning of this episode is a fear of abandonment. A fear of abandonment. That's really what it is, or a fear of rejection. Because if you feel like you're jealous, or if you have some type of control issue, you're trying to hold on to something too tight, you have some type of a fear of if that thing goes away. That's something else you have to deal with. That's not their problem. That is your problem. So all of these things are connected to deeper things, even your appearance. It's connected to something. I recently did a TikTok and I said, at what age were you first made aware that women's bodies could have flaws? Think about it. How old were you when the first person said something negative to you about your body? Whether you're too tall, whether you were called chunky monkey, whether you were leggy, and they talked about giraffe legs, or whether they talked about your size, anything. How old were you? That is a wound that you carried forward. It is. Even if it wasn't necessarily negative, right? Maybe it wasn't. Like my grandmother, for example, I always tell this story. I was 8 years old and she was telling me to stand up straight and suck in my belly button because beautiful women should have small waists. all women should have little waists. And she was teaching me, it was her version of good posture. And of course, she's not with us anymore, God rest her soul. But back then, she grew up in a time when they wore corsets when she was a little girl. So that was something that stuck in my mind, where I first became aware that women could have flaws if their waist wasn't small enough. How old were you when you became aware? Maybe that's why you feel self-conscious about your appearance. But does that mean that we shouldn't take all the steps that would help us feel more confident on the outside? No. I want you to identify what these insecurities are that you have, figure out where they came from, and start to work on it. Start to work on that insecurity itself. Realize, okay, this happened when I was 11 or 20 or 30 years old, whatever it happens to be. That happened in this specific incident. It doesn't mean it's going to happen again in the future. Acknowledge it. Give yourself the permission to heal from it so that you can move forward and stop the habits of insecure women so that you can glow up into a fierce woman. Once you start wearing who you are proudly, even if you're not in the body or have the appearance that you want right now, you can claim, I am proud of who I am as a human, and I'm on a journey of progress to be even better. The next version of you, the you 2.0, 3.0, whatever. I never want you to do this though. Don't ever consider yourself a project. You're not a project. You are a human with human experiences, and you are evolving. You grow through them and you improve through them. You can call it a project. I used to call my body a project, and then I realized it's always a project. It's never done. I'm always trying to improve something in my health, in my, my shape, in all of those things, my strength. And when you think of it as a never-ending project, it's fatiguing and you burn out. But if you allow it to be a journey, if you allow it to be a process that you evolve continually, you don't burn out and you stay committed to yourself, because that is something fierce women also do. Okay, my friend, I want you to glow up and look more radiant and step into your fierceness. And that means you're going to let go all of these behaviors and insecurities that we demonstrate. After you identify them, put your finger on it, figure out where it came from, acknowledge it, and say bye-bye, and step forward into the new, powerful, fierce you. Once you are, people will see it, and they're going to be attracted to it, and you're going to attract all of the good, everything positive. You're going to walk away from those things that are going to pull you down into insecurities, walking away from gossip, not participating in gossip, not celebrating anybody's failures. You are stepping up. You're leveling up. And that, my friend, is when you are going to look radiant everywhere you go. That's it for today. I'll be back next time, same place. Bye for now. It's my passion to help women feel more confident by feeling more beautiful, by setting better boundaries. But you know what? When we feel more beautiful, we set better boundaries. If you love this kind of stuff, you need to go tap that link in my show notes right here for Shine Online. We start Monday, July 31st. It will change your life. I promise you, if you're a woman in business who needs to show up in video, on socials, in pictures, for your website, for your social media, take this class with me. It's a full-on coaching program where you will get live feedback and live coaching. You're going to love it. Okay, my friend, until next time, have a fierce, fit, feminine, and fabulous day.